Hi, I'm James Lindsay,
And I'm Maliana Keplinger.
and we are doing our presentation on The Privileges by Jonathan Dee. Really quick about the author, Jonathan Dee was born in 1962 in New York City. He attended Yale University studying fiction writing and receiving his BA in American Studies. After college, his first job was the associate editor at the Paris Review, and he's currently a staff writer at the New York Times Magazine as well as a regular contributor to Harper's. For his magazine work, he was nominated for the National Magazine Award in 2010. He also currently teaches in the graduate writing programs at both Columbia University and the New School. He's published 6 novels to date, including The Privileges, published in 2010, which won the 2011 Pre-Fitzgerald Prize and was also a finalist for the 2010 Pulitzer Prize for Fiction. Dee was also the second winner of the St. Francis College Literary Prize and has received fellowships from the National Endowment of the Arts and the Guggenheim Foundation.
Quick little plot synopsis here. Adam and Cynthia Morey have it all. Born with silver spoons in their mouths, each generation of the Moreys has it better than the last. Entitled to a lifestyle few can only dream of. Private jets, spontaneous overseas trips, summer vacations on a private island, and designer labels are just part of the daily routine. Jonathan Dee writes a novel about the perfect couple, perfect marriage, and perfect family. But such idyllic lifestyles were built on dark secrets. Patriarch Adam attempts to provide for his family and keep them in the lifestyle they've grown accustomed to, at the cost of his reputation, job, and the very name he's so carefully crafted for himself. As the betrayals pile up, Adam falls out of touch with his family. Cynthia and the kids, Jonas and April, each cope with his absence in their own way. April spirals, surrounded by corruption and broken relationships, recklessly buying affections from drug dealers and alcoholics, searching for love at the bottom of every bottle and every pipe. She learns the hard way that she can't get by on good looks and charm alone. Life itself is the most valuable asset to people from every walk of life. Jonas, an old soul from birth, rebels quietly as he has done for most of his life. Rather than walking the golden path his family name has established for him, Jonas lives a Spartan lifestyle in order to distance himself from the preconceived notions everyone has about those with privileged lifestyles. Jonas is an enigma to the students on campus who can't understand why he doesn't flaunt his fortune. But his relationship with a grad student, Nikki, keeps his head in the clouds and his feet on the ground as he forges his own path in an effort to forget his name. Jonas struggles to put himself together as he tries to craft an identity that melds both his past and present personas. The Privileges is a story of a couple blessed by fortune, touched by time, and above all, united by their love for each other.
The main character, Adam Morey, is a Wall Street hedge fund manager, and Dee wrote this novel on the heels of the financial credit crisis of 2008, in which banks and financial markets across the globe suffered catastrophic losses, leading the world economy into a period labeled the Great Recession. Many economists have attributed this meltdown to a subprime mortgage crisis, in which the predatory lending practices of banks would push to approve people into mortgages they couldn't afford. The banks would then package these mortgages together and trade them with other banks in credit default swaps. These packages were traded on the premise that the housing market would always go up and a home's value would never decrease. But after the housing market peaked in 2006 and subsequently crashed, property values started to fall, and all these mortgage packages suddenly became toxic assets, culminating in the meltdown of 2008, when the assets that banks had were worth less than the debt that those banks owed. After the meltdown, much of the blame for the crisis was put at the feet of Wall Street investment bankers, who many pundits and news commentators labeled as greedy and evil. Matt Taibbi of Rolling Stone called the financial crisis a fleecing of the American economy, in which Wall Street investors robbed the American public of what little savings and equity they had. This sentiment was eventually shared by a good portion of the general population and led to the Occupy Wall Street movement of 2011. The issue of income inequality is still going on today, as our national politics are currently debating about tax breaks for the wealthy, income loopholes for corporations, and which portion of the population should bear the most tax burden. But were big bankers really being evil villains? In The Privileges, Adam Morey is a family man, deeply devoted to his wife and kids and to their happiness. What drives his success is his desire to provide for his family, but that same desire also drives him to commit financial fraud. Adam is already earning money faster than he can spend it, but his greed goes unchecked, and he becomes the ringleader of a vast network of insider trading, corporate fraud, and a clandestine network of offshore accounts. But can we really label Adam as an evil man? Jonathan Dee puts a face and a sense of humanity to the wealthy Wall Street fat cats that have been vilified in today's climate of social class warfare.
The American dream depicted by the privileges is comprised of familiar themes: keeping up appearances, striving for the unattainable, and measuring one's self-worth in material possessions and the number of zeros at the end of every paycheck. But the dream changes for the privileged Adam and Cynthia Morey. It's like trying to buy the perfect gift for someone who has everything. What more can you gain when you have it all? Adam and Cynthia dream of cheating time and death. While most people dream of a better life for themselves and their children, Adam and Cynthia's idea of a better life is far beyond middle-class imaginings. The Moreys move beyond the standards and ideals their own parents set for them and pin their hopes on the newest generation. Adam and Cynthia pass the torch to their children, Jonas and April, looking to them to carry on the Morey legacy. Inheritance is measured in more than money and material possessions. The children also stand to inherit a powerful reputation, along with the burden of society's expectations, thanks to the Morey name. Like many young couples, Adam and Cynthia shared the white picket fence dream. Once they have the marriage, house, and family, they find themselves bored with the daily lives of people who have too much money and not enough time to spend it all. Both Adam and Cynthia value their youth, each thinking in their own way that they can buy themselves more time on earth, more vitality, more life. The power couple tries to justify their lavish lifestyle by spending the money on their children and charities after they have enough to outwardly display their wealth in houses, vacations, and designer labels.
April, on the other hand, relishes what her parents have made her, but lacks the motivation to pay it forward or give back to others. If she had her way, she would hold on to the money and use it to buy the affections of others and material possessions that boost her high-class appearance. April is the most concerned with the superficial representations of her wealth and measures her self-worth and how society's impressions of her shape the expectations of her behavior. April's dream is to have a dream worth living for. She becomes the flattest character in the novel, penned in by standards that she has no hope of living up to. April seeks a purpose in life, dreaming of the next thing, the next thrill to get her through the daily drudge. Having money isn't enough for April Morey, but like most teenage girls, she wants to fit it with her friends and thinks she can substitute money and material things for real relationships. Jonas, however, dares to be different, choosing to live a bohemian lifestyle during his college years in an effort to forge his own path and forget his name, the Morey name. When his peers find out who Jonas is, the son of a wealthy Wall Street investor, they wonder why he doesn't live more lavishly than he can afford to. But Jonas doesn't want his friends to judge him for what he could have. He wants them to judge him based on the spiritual wealth he possesses: a loving relationship with his girlfriend, a place to call his own, and an Ivy League education. Jonas wants to be more than just his name, and when he leaves his mark on the world, he wants to do so outside of his father's shadow. The central theme of the American dream that we've discussed throughout this class is the wanting to reinvent yourself, that you don't have to live based on how your past defines you. That if you don't like who you are or where you're at in life, you have the opportunity in America to change it. We saw this with Hezekiah trying to escape the curse of her ancestors, and Carrie trying to make herself into something more substantial than just a mistress. We saw it with Henry Steupen relinquishing his birthright and fleeing Steupen's 100, and with Adam Trask leaving his New England roots to stake a new life in the Salinas Valley. And in the privileges, we see a recurring motif of people desperately trying to become something they're not, especially young Jonas. At the end of the novel, he offers his girlfriend a chance at acquiring a whole new identity, an opportunity, ironically, that he can only offer because of the tremendous privilege his current identity and wealth affords him. And that is it. That's our presentation. Thank you for watching.
I hope you guys enjoyed.